Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Oobeldink ASMR. Wait, he isn't dead. Shy surprise. I was just watching or listening to that song as I was setting up all the stuff for this video. By the way, that was from the classic Shia LaBeouf song on YouTube by Rob Cantor, one of the classic YouTube videos of all time. Anywho, people, friends, oobs, we are back. I have a new camera. We have an articulating screen, so forgive me if I do this and look at my stupid face instead of looking at you beauty over here. So forgive me if that happens. It probably will. But you know what? Let's get done with all that rigmarole. Whatever. Who cares that I'm back? Let's talk about what we're really here for. The books. Let's just pose for a quick thumbnail. Let's do like a stupid face and like a oh my god face. I think that's good enough. So I have quite a few books. This is gonna be books and a graphic novel. So I think let's just go in the order that I got them. I also have a wonderful cup of tea over here. The flavor is passion fruit and pineapple, so it's quite fruity and sweet. Certainly more of a daytime vibe than even though it doesn't have any caffeine, so it doesn't matter in that aspect. Just the flavors are more kind of like a daytimey thing than, than a nighttime kind of tea, and it is midday right now. I fucking lost my watch, dude, somewhere in my apartment. But anyways, let's talk about books. Let's do them in order of when I purchased them, which I think have written in all of them. Okay, so let's start with these two that I bought in September. Well, specifically, I bought them on the 30th of September this year. So we have Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? By Edward Albee. Focus. There we go. I was there for a second. Focus. By Edward Albee. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? I've heard about this play very much. I think maybe last year or the year before, I was going to go and actually watch a production of it, like in one of the theaters relatively close to me. But I got sick, so I can't remember if I actually bought the tickets and then didn't go, or just didn't even buy the tickets because I was sick. Because I remember talking to my mother on the phone about going to watch it, but then I got sick. But anyways, basically I've heard about this play quite a lot, and there's actually a copy of this, a very nice looking copy of this, with like silhouettes of people shouting at each other on the cover, in the bookshop that I normally go to all the time, the Exclusive Books, which is like the biggest like chain bookstore in South Africa. Yeah, the one that I usually go to. There was a copy there, but it was quite expensive and it was hardcover. As I said, it did actually look very nice. But yeah, I always saw it and was curious, but I didn't want to buy it because that specific copy was a bit too expensive for me. But then, when I went to a different bookstore, when I went out adventuring one day randomly, I found this one, which was quite cheap. Obviously, it's not the best cover, it's not offensive enough that I hate it, but it's serviceable. It serves, it has the name. It's nothing ugly or terrible like some of the other covers that I have over there. But anywho, let's just read the blurb quickly. I have not read this yet. Yeah, so let's just read the blurb for you guys. The blurb, not the burb. The blurb for you guys really quickly. When middle-aged Martha and her husband George are joined by the younger Nick and Honey for late-night drinks after a party, the stage is set for a night of drunken recriminations and revelations. battle lines are drawn as Martha and George drag their guests into their own private hell of a marriage. The Washington Post said of this play, deliciously toxic, acidly funny, and then the Sunday Times said, an intensity, a demoniac misery, a ferocious humor. No one can remain indifferent to its power, its resilience of ideas, and its range of language. So yeah, very excited to read and hopefully watch this play one day. Yeah, quite exciting. I think this might be one of the first like books of plays, or book of a play that I've actually bought new, because I feel like all my others are either second hand or I just found them in my parents' house. So that's pretty cool. Like all the Shakespeare's and, you know, for example, this T.S. Eliot, Murder in the Cathedral, and this Heartbreak House. This I bought second hand from a place, but yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so I think this is actually the first book of a play that I've bought new, which is pretty interesting. Next up, we have Misunderstanding in Moscow by Simone de Beauvoir. That's I was very excited to get, because, well, I hadn't heard about this specific book, but I've heard about Simone de Beauvoir very much, just from the world of like existentialist philosophy. So she's quite a prominent figure, and I think Jean-Paul Sartre was her partner. Were they married? I can't remember. But yeah, both of them very big figures in the world of existentialism, French existentialism, I guess specifically in philosophy, which I am quite interested in. And so yeah, as soon as I saw her name, I thought I'm gonna buy it, even though this is not a like philosophical. This is not a philosophy book. It's a narrative novel. Probably has some explorations of philosophical concepts, like probably any novel does. But yeah, anywho, I've read a bit of it, and it seems quite interesting so far. Before we do that, though, let's grade the cover. I'm happy with this cover. It is about a couple, so I guess that fits. The colors, I'm not really a big fan of personally, but you know what? That's okay. It's still quite nice. Nothing that makes me go icky yuck. But yeah, let's read the blurb. Nicole and Andre, a retired French couple, take a summer holiday to Russia. It is the 1960s. Look at my face. It is the 1960s, and Russia is a beautiful, complicated place. Their guide is Macha, Andre's daughter from a previous relationship, a woman they both love. Adventure, inspiration, good food, and good vodka are promised. Once thrilled by their romance, Nicole and Andre have now become too used to each other. Both harbor a growing feeling of not being fully understood, of being alone. Father and daughter engage in the grand debates of East-West relations, nationalism and socialism. But getting older, long-term relationships and how to enjoy life turn out to be the more pressing. Let me read that last sentence again. I feel like I messed up. But getting older, long-term relationships and how to enjoy life turn out to be the more pressing issues, issues. Thus is a captivating novella by one of the most important thinkers, writers, and feminists of the 20th century. And then we do have a quote here, although I don't think this quote is about the specific novella. I think it's just about Simone de Beauvoir herself, but we'll read it. We want to be thorough over here on the Ubuilding ASMR channel. It's from The Guardian, and they say Simone de Beauvoir is a feminist icon. She didn't just write the feminist book, she wrote the movement's Bible, The Second Sex. Again, more just about the author, not the book itself, but that's okay. Also, by Simone de Beauvoir, we have the Inseparables. There you can see. Oh, focus. There we go. You can kind of see. But yeah, I've read a little bit, a few pages. I think the day that I bought it. A tradition that I have is whenever I buy a book or multiple books, I will go to a coffee shop and just have some sort of a drink and just read a few pages. It's become like a thing that I do now, and it's quite nice. But yeah, we have the two that I bought on the 30th of September. Now let's move on to those that I bought on the 14th of October. These are not narrative works, these are more kind of discussion, talking about big topics and whatnot. Let's start with the Communist Manifesto. Honestly, kind of got this as a little bit of a, I wouldn't, kind of a meme, but not really. You hear a lot about the Communist Manifesto and about communism, but I wanted to actually know what was the actual idea that, Marx and Friedrich Engels had in there, like what was the actual theory, because I've been curious about it since, I think when I was in high school, like grade 11, which I would have been 16, 17. We did Animal Farm as like our book for English, our set work book for English. And if you are unaware or unfamiliar, Animal Farm is sort of a fable-like retelling of the Russian Revolution. And yeah, so we had heard, like, from my English teacher, I heard, oh, this is kind of based on, like, animalism is kind of based on communism and blah, 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 blah. And so I thought, so that kind of planted the seed of being curious. And then, yeah, since then, like, I've read 1984, and I have this Lenin, V.I. Lenin, Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov. That is from a line that is from The Big Lebowski, which is one of my favorite comedic films. Anyways, yeah, I've just heard about the Communist Manifesto quite a lot, and I thought it was cheap enough. It's 83 Rand. I still have the price on it. I'll probably take it off after this. So I thought, fuck it, I'll buy it. I'll just to kind of satisfy my curiosity and kind of fill the void of that piece of history, for what it started out as in the minds of Marx and Engels. So yeah, there we go. I guess, well, there's no blurb really. I guess I'll read. The first page has a quote. It says, "The proletarians have nothing to lose but their chains." Oh, what's the line from 1984? The something lies with the proles. Whatever. I can't remember right now. Next up, we have a book that I've been wanting to read for quite some time. Ever since I finished The Myth of Sisyphus over here by Camus, I wanted to read more and more and more of his philosophical works because I really like him. Well, I don't know the man. I really like his works, all these other works that I've read, i.e. The Myth of Sisyphus and The Stranger. I think mine is called The Outsider. L'étranger in French. Forgive my pronunciation. Forgive it twice because I couldn't even say the word pronunciation. Yeah, this is The Rebel by Camus. I heard about it quite a lot. And it again is a long philosophical discussion about kind of the act of rebellion, particularly from what I've read so far in relation to politics. But yeah, I'm sure he will explore many other aspects of it, and also because he mentions in The Myth of Sisyphus that to rebel is like to be human is to rebel or to desire to be rebellious. And I thought, well, that's kind of out of nowhere, and he doesn't justify it a lot. And so I thought, well, maybe in The Rebel he goes more into that. But yeah, I guess I'll just read a bit of the blurb over here. To say that life is absurd, one must be alive. That is just a quote before the blurb, and now let's read the blurb. The Rebel is Camus' attempt to understand the time. That's a quote. The Rebel is Camus' attempt to understand the time I live in, and I think that's like the first line, and a brilliant exploration of what it means to exist, and a brilliant explanation of what it means to exist. His fiery, passionate criticism of communism and the French Revolution, his fiery, passionate criticism of communism and the French Revolution, there we go, for the use of terror attracted violent opposition from his contemporaries who held them sacred. In this towering and humane work, Camus argues that hope for the future lies in revolt without revolution, rooted in wisdom, beauty, and individual freedoms and individual freedom. And the Times have said of this work, one of the great humanist manifestos. So yes, I'm very, very interested in reading this. Again, interesting that the blurb here speaks about Camus having a passionate criticism of communism, and then we have the Communist Manifesto right here. So I can get the full picture, you know what I mean? I can read this and then read some of Camus' criticisms in The Rebel. So, very exciting, very wonderful. You can see I already have the kind of crease over here from doing a bit of reading. I've been enjoying it so far. I do tend to read these philosophical things a little slower because I tend to want to kind of really understand what's trying to be said, more so than a narrative novel, which is generally easier. Like, it's easier to just basically know what's going on in those ways. In these ways, trying to talk about these kind of big ideas and stuff. So I tend to read these slower, so I haven't started, but I haven't made that much progress for that reason. And then finally we have my most recent purchase. Did I even write the day I bought it in here? I don't think so. But yeah, this is I actually bought this online. This is very recent because I think I started playing. So all of the Batman Arkham games were on sale on Steam for like nothing almost. And I had played all of the original Arkham trilogy, so Arkham Asylum and Arkham City and Arkham Knight. I had all played those, and I finished Asylum and City. I did not finish Arkham Knight because I kind of got bored towards the end. I'm like in the last part of it, but I just stopped caring, to be honest with you. But anyways, Arkham Asylum and Arkham City I fucking loved. But anyways, But then the one thing I didn't play, which is not really in the trilogy, is Arkham Origins. And so I thought, and also the other Arkham games I played on my PlayStation 3 when I was still living with my parents, like when I was in high school. And so I thought, hey, I'll just buy all of these. I can like have a nice, fun replay of Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, and then I can play Arkham Origins for the first time. I started with Arkham Origins, and as the name suggests, it's like about an earlier Batman in his, I don't remember, I think like in his first couple of years, I don't know if it's his first year exactly of being Batman. And the game itself was not very good. It was not very good. It just the gameplay felt a lot like just a worse, like shrunken version of Arkham City. And it just made me want to play Arkham City rather than Arkham Origins. But kind of got me interested again into Batman and reading Batman, and particularly I guess year one, because as I said, Arkham Origins is about like that early era of Batman. And so I thought, well, I saw this online, and I thought, fuck it, I'll buy it. It wasn't too expensive. And for those, I didn't even say the name. This is Batman Year One, written by Frank Miller with da, 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 and with artwork by Woolf, David Mazzucchelli, and written by Frank Miller. This is like, if you're into comic books, this is one of the like must read, particularly in terms of like Batman. This is one of those like, oh my god, it's so good, you must read it like this. And The Dark Knight Returns and like The Killing Joke are like the like must read like Batman comic books as far as I've heard. And so I was like, hey, I might as well read year one, and it was so fucking good, guys. Yeah, I think what has happened with Batman, I think, particularly recently, is that he's becomes almost mythical, which I guess is cool, and I guess the whole point of Bruce Wayne creating Batman was to create this like larger than life mythical figure that criminals would be afraid of, etc., etc. But I think that has also kind of become the character. Like, I feel like recently Batman's whole thing is just that he's cool and brooding and like he has an answer to everything, which is cool. But I think I only really realized this after reading year one, because in year one you really get to know more of the man, and like, well, I guess let me explain a bit. So you get the story of Batman's first, as you would his first year, but you get to see a lot of his struggles. Like, you see the first night he goes out and tries to be Batman, it's not that successful. And also, like, the form of this is that there are lots of little writings like throughout. It's almost as if you're reading like excerpts from his notebook or a diary or something, and he'll say, oh, tonight I tried to do this but it didn't work, and you get to see Batman making mistakes, which I think you rarely get to see in Batman media in general. I mean, you do sometimes, but here it just makes Bruce Wayne and Batman a lot more human. And then also on the flip side of that, we have Jim Gordon, who I feel like in so many movies and things that I've seen, he's just the guy, like the family guy that calls Batman, he's not much beyond that often. But in this, he's such a fucking badass. And Jim Gordon's story and Batman's story are sort of two equal parts. It's not like all Batman and then a bit of Jim Gordon. It's about how both of them became who they are. And also Jim Gordon only like transfers to Gotham City in the beginning of this, so he's not like established as he is in like other Batman stuff. And he also becomes a way more developed of a character and way more interesting. And also he like goes through kind of like a Serpico kind of thing with corruption in the police department, which I love, because I just love Serpico with Al Pacino from, I can't remember the year. But yeah, it has very much that like vibe of like paranoia and like not trusting his co-workers and stuff, which I think was really cool. But yeah, he's also not just a perfect man. He does things that are not that great, but like it's good for character development, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I really loved Batman. I finished it, as you can hear from what I'm talking, from how I'm speaking about it. But yeah, I don't want to spoil the one thing that I was gonna say. So yeah, I love this so much. Really found me seeing the more human side of Batman / Bruce Wayne, and just developing Jim Gordon as more than just the the commissioner rather, that works with Batman or hates Batman, depending on what you're watching. And yeah, I guess I will. Oh, also there are some extras. So they are from Mazzucchelli. There are some we have like some of his little sketches. I think this is a Batman sketch that he drew when he was a child, like in the 60s, and then this is some of the sketches that he sent through. Then I can hear people from my apartment building speaking in the background. And then yeah, some just cool like sketches and stuff. So cool little extras. And here we have like the script, and then some of his like pencil sketches, pencil drawings. So yeah, very nice purchase, added to my relatively small graphic novel collection. I would like to read The Dark Knight. I did read The Killing Joke, I think, when I was really into like comic books in high school. I used to get them from the library, and I like read pretty much all the graphic novels / comic books that they had, and Killing Joke was one of them, but I still haven't read The Dark Knight Returns, so that's next on my like comic book list. I guess I'll read a few of these excerpts, or not excerpts, some of these reviews from the Miami Herald. If there is one book that deserves mention in the same breath as Watchmen or The Dark Knight Returns, it's Batman. Year one. And then from the school library, from the school library journal, this is a story no true Batman fan should be able to resist. And then from Denny O'Neil, a graphic novel that combines a familiar urban myth with an unmistakably modern sensibility and brilliant storytelling. I would agree with that. So yeah, here we have these 5 pieces of literature that I've recently added to my collection. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. How long have I been recording, dudes? 27 minutes. That sounds like enough for an ASMR video to me. So thank you for watching. I am sorry for the long break, but you know what, man? Life happens, but I'm in the zone now, so I look forward to seeing you in the following videos. Again, I apologize for looking at my stupid face to the side all the time. I will hopefully get used to ignoring that. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.